I got somebody really attacking me right now. I mean, really going after me, man. I'm just waiting to see what God gonna do.
Steve Harvey just picked a fight he might regret forever. The second he tried to put Katt Williams and Lil Boosie in their place, they flipped the script on him. No hesitation, no filter. They clapped back loud and bold right in front of millions. Cameras rolling, fans screaming, and the internet going wild. It wasn't just a response. It was a straight-up public humiliation that had everyone talking. What started as a few slick little jabs turned into a full-blown battle of words. No scripts, no filters, just pure chaos. Comedy met the streets, legend clashed with rebellion, and this time, it wasn't some clean-cut Family Feud Steve Harvey moment. This was raw energy, real emotion, and pure disrespect flying both ways. Katt Williams and Boosie didn't just clap back, they tore down the whole act. They peeled off the layers of fake smiles, called out the hidden egos, and dragged the truth out from behind all that Hollywood polish. It was messy, uncut, and everybody watching felt the tension explode right through the screen. This right here is how two street-certified icons went head-to-head with one of the biggest entertainment names alive and made him flinch on his own turf. No teleprompters, no punchlines, just pressure.
It felt like it was genuine. There are some people who have given, my dad his flowers now that he's dead that I'm looking at like, doggone well, he wasn't doing that when he was alive. And that, not just famous people, just people all.
It all kicked off when Steve Harvey dropped what fans are now calling a verbal threat. Not on the block, not with fists, but with words that cut deep. On his show, on stage, and during interviews, he started throwing shade. Slick, sharp, and calculated. He called out comedians and rappers who run their mouth too much, warning that if anyone dared step to him sideways, he'd handle it like a man. The crowd laughed. But Katt and Boosie weren't laughing one bit. Everybody knew exactly who Steve was aiming at. Katt Williams and Boosie. He didn't name names, but come on, the shade was loud and clear. For months, Katt had been setting the internet on fire, calling out all the Hollywood phonies one by one. He roasted Kevin Hart, went in on Tiffany Haddish, dragged Steve Harvey, and basically anyone he saw as a corporate puppet. So when Steve decided to clap back, the streets knew it wasn't just talk. This was battle brewing in real time. Now, Katt Williams has never been the type to back down. He don't fear no network, no studio, no fancy suit. Like he said himself, "I ain't in Hollywood, I'm in the truth business." That's his motto, and he lives by it.
And you asked it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say. After Bernie left, them same three guys I'm telling you about, the Kings, they came to me. I was supposed to be the fourth king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you shit on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Fuck you. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. That man was funnier than all of y'all, and y'all thought y'all had one over on him. You thought he was black and ugly, and you were good looking, and he couldn't make it, 'cause you did. And that ain't the way comedy works. The king is the funniest. Period. Every time. And that's why no audience member was ever swayed. It didn't matter where Bernie went. You think if Bernie went first, he wasn't the king? Get out.
So when Steve threw that slick jab about knocking out comedians who talk reckless, Katt took it real personal. He hopped on live, face full of fire, and said, "Steve, you too old to be threatening folks. Don't talk about knocking me out when you couldn't even stand up to your own barber." Boom! The internet went absolutely insane. Memes, reposts, reactions. It was everywhere. But just when everyone thought the drama had peaked, Boosie stepped in and turned the heat all the way up. Boosie saw Katt holding it down and said, "Nah, we not letting Steve slide on this one." See, Boosie and Katt go way back. Two men from different worlds, but cut from the same cloth. Both raw, both unfiltered, both allergic to fake energy. They say what they mean and mean what they say. No Hollywood filters, no PR spin. So when Boosie saw Steve flexing like he was some street boss, he went live too, voice raised, eyes locked on the camera. "Steve Harvey, don't scare nobody," Boosie shouted. "He's a talk show host, man. He ain't cut like that. You threatening comedians and rappers cause you mad folks see through the act. You Hollywood now, bro. We real ones." That's when it got real. The internet exploded again, and suddenly, Steve's image as the calm, wise OG gone in seconds. "You can't threaten what's real." That's the line that lit up the internet. In seconds, it was Katt and Boosie versus Steve Harvey, live, raw, and uncut for the whole world to witness. But hold up, this feud didn't just pop out of nowhere, there's real history behind it. Katt Williams has been coming for Steve for years. This beef goes way deeper than jokes. It's about respect, legacy, and truth. Katt's been saying Steve sold out long ago, accusing him of stealing jokes and blocking other comedians from getting their shine while pretending to be a mentor. Back in 2018, Katt went on record saying, "Steve Harvey's the type who'll shake your hand and steal your punchline." He wasn't laughing when he said it either. Then he added, "Sometimes the opposition comes from the most unsuspecting place."
I didn't know nothing about this concept. When the promoter told me about it in October, I shot it down, because that ain't how I've ever promoted a show. You know, I've always been on tour with some real monsters, man. I've toured with the Kings. You know, I've been on stage with Sid, DL, and Bernie Mac at the same time. It's always been a camaraderie.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're going out here to give the people the best show we can give them. And that's the way we've always promoted comedy shows. Now, you know, to turn this into some type of little beef, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't how.
People laughed like it was all comedy, but Katt meant every word. In his eyes, he's the voice of the people, the real deal who never bent to Hollywood rules. Steve, on the other hand, represents the corporate comedy world, clean, safe, and built for network TV. That clash in energy, that's been brewing for years, and now it's finally exploding. And when you throw Boosie into that fire, oh, it's over. Boosie don't play industry games. He's not Hollywood, he's hood. No filters, no scripts, just straight talk. He's been known to say what everyone else is too scared to. And when he saw Steve preaching on TV every day about morals and relationships, he had to speak up. Steve been acting like the new Dr. Phil of Black America, dropping life lessons, preaching about love, and giving sermon-style advice every morning like he's the neighborhood pastor. But Boosie wasn't buying it, at all. He went live saying, "Steve Harvey be talking about how to keep a woman like he ain't been divorced, bro. Stop acting like a pastor and just be real. Folks tired of fake wisdom." That right there hit a nerve. Steve didn't like being clowned, and instead of ignoring it, he snapped. He fired back with a line that instantly set the internet ablaze. "If these little dudes keep my name in their mouth, I might have to teach them how grown men handle things."
Man, I ain't got nothing to say about the Katt Williams situation. I don't know about nothing about that. I know he a real nigga to me. Like I say, bro, I came home, I ain't had nothing, and man. Invited me to his concert. Got me front row seat. When I was leaving, gave me $15,000. That's real. Everybody else was screaming my name, all kind of celebrity. They ain't even give me a speak. They ain't even speak to me when I came home. The man gave me $15,000. I ain't even know him, bro. That's all I could say. How many celebrities was hollering free Boosie? I saw him, they ain't even acknowledge me. They gave me $15,000. Doing that. He did that from the heart, man. He knew what I had been through, bro. The man knew what I had been through, bro. I'll never forget that. When I see him, I'm definitely gonna bless him, you know. And I keep 15, 20 in my pocket at all time.
And that's when the whole situation turned from shade to straight-up showdown. Steve thought he was being clever, trying to brush it off like a clap back. But to Boosie and Katt, it sounded like a straight-up threat. And that's when everything exploded. They both went live, and the energy was pure chaos. Boosie was in his car, smoke filling the frame, talking wild and raw like only he can. Meanwhile, Katt was in another city, calm as ever, but his words were sharp, every line cut deep. Boosie kicked it off saying, "Steve, stop capping, man. You ain't no street dude. You a TV man. You ain't about to handle nothing but a camera. Talking about knocking folks out? You better knock out them weak jokes instead." The chat was already going crazy. But then Katt jumped in with that smooth, dangerous tone that only he has. Voice low, eyes locked on the lens like he was delivering a sermon. "Brother Steve," he said softly, "you too old to be fighting people who never disrespected you. I called you out because you fake, not because I hate. There's a difference." Then he paused, leaned forward, and hit the world with one of the coldest lines of the year. "You can't knock me out, Steve. Not in comedy, not in life, not even in spirit. So stop swinging for headlines." Boom! The internet lost its mind. Comments flying, hearts popping, fans choosing sides in real time. It was chaos. Screenshots everywhere, clips spreading like wildfire across YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Steve never joined that live, but his silence spoke volumes. Fans started asking, is Steve Harvey really threatening people now?
I want no parts of this in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This is some other shit. I don't know why he came out here with all this money y'all spent on them motherfucking tickets and talked about a lady in the audience for 15 goddamn minutes. That nigga should have talked about me the way I've been to talk about his bitch man.
Others wondered, why is Katt always calling everyone fake? And Boosie? He just said what everybody else was scared to admit. Soon, other comedians started chiming in. Some defended Steve, saying, he's an OG, he's earned his respect. But others backed Katt and Boosie, saying they were just speaking the truth everyone's been dodging. And that's where things took a turn, because this was never just about words anymore. It was about control. Who really runs the culture? Who gets to speak for the people? And who's brave enough to call out the game for what it really is? See, this was way bigger than jokes or interviews. This was about power and who truly owns the mic. Steve Harvey got the platforms, the connections, the network deals, the TV shows, all that polished Hollywood backing. But Katt and Boosie, they got the people, the streets, the culture, the raw truth that don't come with a filter. So this wasn't just comedy beef. This was a full-blown culture clash.
What I believe, the genuine love and respect that Katt Williams showed my father, it is so much appreciated. Much love and mad props to Katt Williams.
Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up.
When Steve dropped that knock you out line, it hit different. It wasn't just slick talk. It was a symbol of the divide between old Hollywood's clean image and new school authenticity. Steve stands for the generation that protects the system, plays it safe, keeps the gates locked. Katt and Boosie, they're the opposite, loud, raw, rebellious, and fearless. They speak the truth even when it burns bridges, and that's exactly why fans love them. So when those worlds collided, it got ugly. Steve's entire brand depends on being respected, the wise, polished father figure of entertainment. But Katt and Boosie's brand? It's built on being real. So when the real called out the respected, something had to break. And it did. Clips of Steve looking tense on his radio show started spreading everywhere. Fans swore he looked nervous, voice shaky, smile forced. The internet didn't hold back either. Tweets started flying like, Boosie and Katt just tag-teamed Steve Harvey. It's the culture versus the corporation. Another viral post said, Steve Harvey talks too much about God to be out here threatening people. That's when the tide started turning. For years, Steve's been praised as the voice of wisdom, the calm, suit-wearing mentor of Hollywood. But now, those same fans were side-eyeing him, questioning if all that wisdom was just an act. The same folks who once called him Uncle Steve were suddenly saying, maybe Katt and Boosie been right all along? The internet had officially flipped the script, and Steve's image was starting to crack right in front of everyone. People started asking the real questions. Is Steve Harvey really humble or just hiding his pride behind that fancy suit? The internet was torn apart trying to figure out if Uncle Steve was genuine or just another Hollywood act. Then Boosie came back swinging a few days later, doubling down harder than ever. He said, "Ain't no man gonna threaten me and get away with it. I don't care who you are, comedian, preacher, president. You say my name, I'm responding, and I stand on that." But it was what he said next that really shook the room.
Sometimes the oppositions come from the most unsuspecting places. Sometimes, man, you're going to get blindsided. But you got to understand how the devil works, man. The devil is evil. He don't fight fair. This thing in life, that's not fair what they saying about me. That's not fair what they doing about me. And it wasn't fair how they did Jesus, but they did it anyway. You are not going to get away through this thing called life without opposition. But let me say this though. Be careful when you hear something that's laid out to be the truth. And because the person that's telling you what they say is true is speaking eloquently, don't be deceived by that. There are some people who know how to lie so well. They know how to sprinkle in just enough truth and wrap it inside their lies where they got you thinking that somebody telling the truth. Beware of that, people. You can't be righteous and negative at the same time.
These TV dudes think they untouchable because they on camera every day. But we the ones people really listen to. That one line hit the internet like a bomb. Because that right there, that's the heart of the whole beef. This was never just about Steve versus Katt and Boosie. It was about authenticity versus image. Who really owns the voice of the culture? The one with the stage or the one with the truth? Katt Williams, meanwhile, stayed calm as ever, but his words cut way deeper than any diss track. He dropped a cold one-liner that had fans losing their minds. "I don't fight men who wear makeup on camera. I fight hypocrisy." Instant firestorm. The comment section exploded with flames and laughing emojis. "He ain't lying." Fans wrote everywhere. But Katt wasn't done yet. He added one more dagger that sealed it. "Steve Harvey once told me I'd never last in Hollywood because I was too honest. Guess what? I'm still here. And I didn't have to sell my soul to stay." That line hit deep. Because whether people love or hate him, everybody knows one thing. Katt Williams might not have Hollywood's approval, but he's got the streets behind him 100%.
Started as a Kings of Comedy idea. It was a Def Comedy Jam reunion idea that I had initially.
Okay.
And I called a friend, Stan Lathan, in LA, who was the director of all of Def Comedy Jams. And he co-managed some of the talent. So I figured he could help me get Martin and bigger people like that at that time.
Right.
And we tried that for like a month or two, and he could never come up with anything. And that's when I was at my son's football practice one day on the phone, like I was always on the phone, sitting in the bleachers, and that name just kept nagging at me.
Right.
But I didn't know what to do with it.
Okay.
So I always could count on Bernie to do what he does. So I called him first, called his people first.
Gotcha.
He was like into it immediately because at that time, if you read his book, he was kind of at a crossroads with his career. He didn't know what was going to go on with his career. And I called Cedric because I was doing all of Cedric's dates up to that point.
Gotcha.
I was his promoter.
Okay.
And I called Steve because I had saw him on a HBO special. I had never seen him do comedy.
Oh, wow.
Saw him on an HBO special with his yellow suit. And I was like, hey, he'll be a good addition.
Right.
And so I called him last.
Okay.
But I had the other two, got him.
That's right, because D.L. Hughley was
one
not.
person.
Okay, got it.
A lot of people don't know that. So.
Right.
That Bernie said in the GQ article that when he got Ocean's 11, Steve had reached out to the producer and said he thought he would be a better fit and tried to get the part.
By the end of the week, it wasn't just social media talking. Blogs, podcasts, gossip channels, even radio hosts were covering it nonstop. This wasn't just celebrity drama anymore. It had become a full-blown cultural moment, with fans taking sides and the truth shaking up Hollywood's so-called perfect image. Steve Harvey still kept quiet through it all. No long rants, no interviews, no clapping back. But insiders close to him said he was disappointed and done responding to childish nonsense. Still, his silence spoke volumes. Because if Steve really had that old-school confidence he always preaches about, he would have faced Katt and Boosie head-on. Instead, he stayed quiet, and the internet took that as a straight-up L. Memes started flooding every corner of social media. People were clowning heavy. Steve's face photoshopped with boxing gloves, Katt's pic captioned, "Still undefeated," and Boosie's quote plastered over a mic saying, "The street's talking." The timeline was chaos. Fans laughing, debating, and turning this whole situation into a cultural event. For real, it was bigger than gossip. It was symbolic. The underdogs had checked the whole system right there in real time. No filters, no scripts, no Hollywood polish. It felt like the culture was reclaiming its voice, raw, loud, and unapologetic. Now let's be honest. All three of these men are legends. Steve paved the way, no doubt about that. He built empires, opened doors, and showed what hard work could do. Katt, he's the truth teller, the one who says what everyone else is too scared to say. And Boosie, he's the voice of the people, the one keeping it 100% real every time he talks. But when ego steps into the room, nobody walks out clean. Even D.L. Hewley jumped in on a podcast and said, "This is what happens when grown men stop communicating and start performing." He wasn't lying either. But the fans didn't want peace. They wanted smoke. They wanted the raw truth, the drama, the back-and-forth energy that makes the internet explode. And Boosie and Katt, they delivered exactly that. No hesitation, no apology, just fire every single time. So what happens next? Maybe Steve finally claps back. Maybe he lets it go down. Or maybe they meet behind closed doors and call it a truce. But one thing's for sure, this moment exposed something way bigger than a celebrity feud. The people are done with fake wisdom. They don't want rehearsed speeches or TV sermons. They want real voices with real energy. No ego, no scripts, no filters, just truth that hits from the heart. And that's exactly what Katt and Boosie gave the world. By the end of it all, the internet had already chosen their winners. And it wasn't about who shouted the loudest, it was about who stood their ground and kept it real no matter what. Boosie summed it up perfectly when he said, "You can't threaten what's real. You can only expose yourself trying." That one line became the quote of the week. It spread everywhere, on memes, TikToks, podcasts, because deep down, everyone knew he was right. Steve Harvey tried to flex authority, to remind people he's the seasoned veteran, the man with all the power. But this time, it backfired. Because the new generation ain't bowing down to polished power anymore. They're standing with the ones who speak from the gut, the ones who live what they say. The energy has shifted. Raw truth now rules over rehearsed image. So yeah, maybe Steve Harvey did threaten Katt Williams and Boosie, but what he didn't realize was this: you can't threaten truth. And when you step to two men who've built their entire careers on honesty, the world's gonna watch closely, and they'll know exactly who's real and who's performing. So what do you think? Was Steve Harvey out of line for threatening Katt and Boosie, or did they cross the line by dragging it all into the public eye? This one's got the internet split straight down the middle, and everybody's got an opinion. Some say Steve just defended his name. Others say he got exposed trying to act tough. So let's hear yours. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep it real. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're rocking with the truth, subscribe for more wild celebrity drama, and turn on those notifications so you never miss when we drop another bombshell. This is Buzz and Drama, where the truth don't hide, the legends never bite their tongue, and the real ones always speak up loud and proud. See you on the next one, because trust me, the next story's about to be even wilder.